Hello, fellow explorers. Welcome back to Siren Soapbox. We are on a mission to explore, and this week we explored living journals as inspired by Ariel. Her TikTok page is Ariel Journals. We were supposed to collect some random things throughout the week, put them all into a journal spread, and then, of course, we're going to get up on our soapboxes to talk about our experience. And first up on her soapbox tonight is Sarah.
Well, thank you, Mer. So, full transparency, when we first started talking about preparing for this episode, I have to admit I wasn't totally into it. I'm pretty sure I've talked about journaling in general here before, but if I haven't, it's not something I enjoy. I've tried many times to get into it. The best I've done is writing in a travel journal that my daughter gave me 1 year as a gift. I actually kept up with that for quite a while until, as usual, I got irritated with having to sit and write. I'd skip a trip, but feel like I needed to leave space to write about it later. And sometimes I'd take little notes to remind myself about what we did on a particular trip so that I could go back and write about it. But ultimately, I talked myself out of continuing it. So a journaling challenge was definitely out of my comfort zone. When it came time to actually start my living journal for the week, I had quite a few things going on. I was busy all week with tasks that had to be done, plus I had to get ready for a weekend trip out of town. So I was a little anxious about getting a journal page completed. I had watched some of the TikTok videos that Ariel has posted about living journals, though, and I was pretty excited about the concept of doing a journal page, but not actually writing anything. I started just saving little things from the week, like receipts and even a rebate offer, for goodness sake, things that would remind me of what was going on that week when I look back on it. Plus, I had a ton of things to choose from to grab to commemorate the Mothman Festival. The tough part really was figuring out what kind of journal to use as my living journal when it came time to putting it together. As I couldn't find one at home that I liked, I just took a page from my watercolor pad and I used that. And then it was just fun sticking everything on the page. I used to do creative memory scrapbooking a long gajillion years ago. So I went and dug all of my sticker books out and even used some of them to spruce it up and fill in some of the spaces. What I didn't do was write a single word. I loved it. I could definitely see doing this in a bound journal every week. Once I got over thinking about it, it really didn't take up a lot of time or brain power. But now I have a fabulous journal page that even has the receipt from Joseph A. Bank, where my 16-year-old son, Ben, and I, and his girlfriend went to pick out his first homecoming outfit. I am so happy to have been introduced to living journals. Jess, do you love journaling?
I do not love journaling. I don't like writing, and I don't even like typing. It's been suggested to try typing a journal because I can't. I just don't get on board with it. So I was pretty darn nervous when we got this challenge. But then I watched some of Ariel's videos and I saw that it was more just collecting things, and I I thought that that could be cool, and it's a mixture of collecting and scrapbooking, except instead of making like a whole year's worth of pictures, you're making a week's worth. And I love taking pictures, so I think I might do some sort of crossover and get my Shutterfly account reactivated and try to print some of these thousands of pictures that inevitably end up locked in my phone, and then my phone gets washed or something like that, and then they're gone forever. So maybe this will be the motivation I need. But for my actual journals, I didn't collect very many things, so I decided to do some drawing of pictures. And we all know I'm not artistic. I don't enjoy drawing, but I went with some very simple pictures, like a pretty janky looking fish and a janky looking avocado, because one of my coworkers bought me a fish last week, who's my new little desk friend. And my avocado tree finally started dropping avocados for the season. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I love the idea of recapping your week. And since I didn't put words in this, it could be very interesting to come back a year from now and look at my pictures and try to remember what the hell my idea was. So I think that I'm going to keep going with this. And when it's full, I'm going to stick it in a drawer and I'm going to pull it out in a year and see what springs back to memory. And that just sounds like a lot of fun. So all in all, I love it. and I didn't think I would, so I'm really excited that I do. So, Mer, what did you think of this journaling?
Well, first of all, unlike you, Jess, and you, Sarah, I have always been a fan of journaling. I love it. And I will say, though, I've never heard of living journals until we found Ariel. But I'm used to the kind of journaling that's writing, writing about my experience or my dreams or my goals, not really just like cataloging my week using mementos. But I was really excited to try it. So last week, Mark and I went out of town to celebrate our anniversary. It was our anniversation. So I thought it was the perfect week to try out the living journal. I ended up carrying just like a little quart size Ziploc bag around with me, and I would toss things in it throughout the week. I ended up collecting things like menus and receipts, and I even bought stickers at a bunch of the places we went to. Um, but the hardest part, I think, was choosing the journal that I was going to use, like you said, Sarah. So I recently decided to transform a notebook that I bought into a sticker book. Actually, I think I won it at like a women's dive day raffle or something. But I've recently decided to transform that into a sticker book. And I also have a notebook that I've decided to use as a travel journal. I bought it when Mark and I were in New York last year. And I have another notebook that I started years ago as a beer tasting log. And any of these would apply because we did all of these things while we were gone, right? So I decided to just update the travel journal because that was the focus for me this week. And I did put some extra stickers in the sticker book. But I think I'm going to use that beer tasting journal as a living journal going forward because I need to get better at using notebooks. We can talk about that in our discussion. um, anyway, I am really excited to do this. I think I'm going to create pages for at least the rest of the year. I need to set like a little short term achievable goal and look back and see if it's something I want to continue. But I really had a lot of fun with this. TC, tell us what you think about journaling?
Well, Mer, like you, and unlike Sarah and Jess, I also love to journal. And I'm always journaling in some way, shape, or form. By always, I mean at any given moment in my life, I have some kind of journal going on. And what I love about journaling is that each type of journaling is so different and serves such a different purpose in my life that I find it really interesting. One of my very favorite journals is my travel journal. And my husband and I make a purposeful effort to not collect things, but to instead collect memories. So in this journal, we record memories with small snippets. So there is some writing in my journal, but not like paragraphs or even, I guess it might be a sentence sometimes. Um, I include pictures of things we did and stickers from places that we visited or pictures that we took. I have a printer that prints them as stickers. What I love about journaling with snippets, whether it's receipts or things you glue onto the pages or snippets of words and drawings and pictures like I do, is that it's a simple reminder spark. The small things spark the big memories, and soon I'm smiling about all of the crazy antics we've gotten ourselves into, the people we've met, and the places we've seen. And there's so many different ways to journal. Every time I try a new one, it just feels good for the soul. And I love that there are so many different purposes to journaling and so many ways to do it. I just think everyone should try to find a way that suits them and do it. Ariel Baca has a saying, whatever you are, be a good one. Ariel has always loved self-expression through creativity, singing, acting, arting, and her love of journaling began with bullet journaling while going to college for filmmaking. From there, it took on a life of its own, from bullet journaling to creative journaling to junk journaling to her living journal. She makes a habit of journaling at least once a week, and she creates things like postcards, bookmarks, and one of her favorite forms of art, zines. When Ariel is not journaling, you can find her reading, writing, singing, or deep diving into a new TV series. Sirens, please help me welcome Ariel Baca to this episode of Siren Soapbox.
Welcome to the show,
Ooh,
Ariel.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So,
I'm
Ariel,
very glad to be here.
thanks. we're curious to hear about zines. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah. So, like journaling is more these kind of larger pages that you're working with. I mean, there's different sizes you can work with, but more often it's these like bigger pages. Now, zines are kind of, so what they really are mini magazines. So where the name zine comes from. But it was kind of started back, I want to say like 70s like era, was really just a different form of like creative expression. So people would make zines about like political things that were going on or like artistic things that were going on. And so it's a way that you can kind of share art for free or for really low cost, because really the concept behind it is you take one piece of paper. I'm working on one now. So you can take one piece of paper and you have these kind of four segments, and so you have like kind of mini journal spreads here. I know it's kind of small. And then you can turn it eventually into basically this mini book. And then each page has this, mini spread. And so you can do it for all sorts of different things. And this one was one of the ones I had where my ink ran out, so I couldn't send it out. So it's all like kind of orange colored here. But so yeah, it's basically just a way of like really inexpensive way to share art. So yeah, you have it all folded on one page, and then you can make it into just a little book really easily.
Huh.
And it's something that just kind of spoke to me. You can do all these different things with them. You can do different sizes. So I have one that's like a little bit bigger, but again, it's this concept of like using one page, using, as little supplies as you can to make art, which I'm all about.
That is
Just
really
watching you
cool.
fold that was some sort of like witchcraft. I want to watch you fold that again.
I know it's got like it's a whole system. You've got like, your one sheet, you do the hot dog style fold. And then what you do is you do the hamburger fold. And then you're supposed to cut in the middle. It's real complicated. And I feel badly because people can't see.
You did it so fast. It was just like, what happened?
That's
How did
okay.
that just become a book?
You know what?
Yeah,
If they subscribe to
yeah.
Patreon, they can see the video, so that's fine.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so it's like you're supposed to just kind of in half and then like this and then makes a little booklet.
That's
so
cool.
Crazy.
Well, thanks. Thank you. A friend told me when I started my Patreon, because I do like kind of bookmarks and postcards that I create. And so my friend was like, oh, you should do like zines. It's perfect to send out and just have like a tier that's like specialized for just zines as like a little specialty thing. So I started doing that and it worked great.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
Yeah.
that kind of reminds me of those little pieces of art that we created. What were those called that we traded?
Artist
Artist
trading cards.
What are those? Artist trading cards? What?
Yeah, so the reason that it reminded me is because the smallest zine that you showed ends up being about the size of an artist trading card. And there are groups on Facebook, and you just create tiny pieces of art and then you post them in this group page, and somebody's like, I want that piece of art. And you trade them back and forth with people.
Yeah, they're like
This is so cute.
they're like 2.5 by 3.5 inches. They're about the size of a playing card, like a deck of cards.
Oh my God. Yeah, I would say, yeah, that's about the size. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
I think
so
I have
cute.
one of
I need
Sarah's up in my office.
I cannot believe I have not heard of this. I feel betrayed by my artist community.
Yeah, I can't believe you haven't either. Actually, the only reason we know about it is because a listener challenged us, or no, somebody who found a Siren Soapbox rock challenged us to do artist
Stop.
trading cards. So
That's
how we learned about it.
awesome.
Yeah, it was fun.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I'm gonna
Sarah
have
has one.
to figure that out. Oh my gosh.
But that's
That
like
is
a
so
printed one.
cool.
Yeah, that's a printed one. I guess
Yeah.
they're all different kinds.
Yeah, like mine were watercolors. I don't have them because I traded them all away. Oh, I bet I
This,
can
this,
find one
this
though.
was from LC. It was, she put a sticker on a card.
Yeah.
That is so cute. What a great concept.
I had a
Oh,
set that was, I did like 4 cards that were all the same tree in a different season. And that was fun. Those were fun.
cute. Oh, that's great.
Oh, here's TC.
Oh,
Are those some
oh
that you
my
got back?
gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one is
That is
actually on a
on
trading
a
card.
card.
On a playing card. Yep.
What?
Yeah, playing card.
Ideas are happening. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. I love this.
So,
Oh man.
so Ariel, how long have you been journaling?
Well, I started as TC beautifully stated before. I started in college, so that was well, I was kind of like a late college goer. So I went back to college after not doing college. And it was about 2016 that I started. So I started bullet journaling just to kind of like keep track with like to-do lists and things like that, because it was like a cute way to like have an agenda going on, and you just like do little doodles and have you can track like how you spend, or how often you're sleeping, and how many hours of studying you need, which is important things when you're in college. And so yeah, that's kind of like where it started, was just bullet journaling. And then yeah, like that was back in 2016. And then I was kind of seeing someone for a while, and she like totally just introduced me to like even more amazing like journaling styles. So that's when I started seeing more like more like the style of scrapbooking. And
Mhm.
so I had done actually scrapbooking like in middle school. I used to do like scrapbook club, like for one of my birthday parties. I did like a scrapbook event. So like I had everybody bring pictures, and then I provided all these like scrapbooking things. So I feel like it was like in my blood. But yeah, that was like when I was younger. And then yeah, made a comeback, and yeah, I want to say like, oh gosh, I can't do math right now, but yeah, around that time is when yeah, I just started like kind of experimenting more, and bringing that scrapbooking back into my life, and just doing different types of styles. And yeah, it led me to, yeah, as I said, that more like creative journaling that I feel like you can see a lot on TikTok, where it's like a theme of like, do blue and pink, and then you do like a little spread that has like blue and pink colors on it.
Yeah.
And then yeah, just kept like snowballing into these different forms of journaling.
So how many journals, like full filled up journals, do you have, you think?
Oh, let's see. I have let me count them 1 second. Let's see.
I love this.
We need music. Dude,
I know.
So I have 8 that are complete, and that's most of them were like either a year or like half a year, or when I was doing my like creative journaling, like I was doing it at one point every single day. So I had like I mean I filled up a journal within like 3 months. It was wild. But so yeah, I want to say right now I have about like 9 completed journals, and then I have 4 that are like in the works like currently.
See, that's my problem. If I have too many journals going at once, I feel a little overwhelmed with them. So that's why, I mentioned in my soapbox talking about all these different books I have. So I guess I will still end up with, I will still have the sticker book and the travel journal, but I have that notebook that I started like 5 years ago. I am just going to start using it as a freaking journal, and I'm going to fill the notebook up. I'm going to do it.
Yes.
Why is it just
I
sitting
love
around
it.
not getting used?
I love that. Was like how one of my first journals, like, because I was like, I hate like looking at this journal and being like, it's half empty. Like all these pages, well, I could use them for something.
Yes. Yes.
The first journal
Mhm.
I think I ever filled up was the Artist Journey journal. Did you
Oh,
By
guys?
Julia Cameron.
Yeah. I filled up an
Yes.
entire
Yes.
spiral notebook from that
Hmm.
book.
Yeah.
you know
Oh, I
what? I
love
think
that
I
one.
did too with my morning pages. Is that the morning pages one?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, that's the morning pages. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, I still do the morning pages like twice a week. I started slacking, and it's better when you do it every day. And I feel like they say like for the first 30 days to do it every day, and then it becomes habit. And then you miss it for a couple days and it's like not a habit anymore.
Yeah.
Right. It's true. You know what I loved about the morning pages is I would concentrate on the sounds around me. And I felt like it was a moment in time where I was hyper aware of everything going on around me, but also really relaxed and unaware of myself. And I really liked that
Yes.
about the morning pages.
I love that. Yeah, totally. It's a very grounding, like to have that moment. You like have to kind of sit there for those 30 minutes, and just or the full 3 pages, however long it takes you. It's very grounding. Oh yeah.
Or it's very pushy because got to do it and it has to be 3 pages and it has to happen and it's has to be done in the morning and it
Yeah.
has to and then you didn't even finish any morning pages journal. It could have gone that way too for some people.
Yeah,
I mean, just
it
theoretically.
has.
Theoretically, hypothetically.
I heard of possibly. Yeah. I tried to get my friend to do it and she's not a writer. She's like, that's not her thing. And she didn't last, I don't think 3 days. It was like, I can't every day, only in the morning. Why?
Oh, yeah. I hate it the artist way, but I really liked the morning pages. That was the one thing I got out of it. But like the rest of you, it sounds like I don't do it every day. I mean, I rarely write 3 pages in a morning ever. But
Yeah, I don't think I ever make it to 3 pages anymore, ever.
yeah, I
Yeah.
did then
But
though, man.
I
yeah,
did then too, but I
oh
don't
yeah.
anymore either.
Yeah. I think one of the other great things that I got from that book, though, besides just morning pages, was she had this great idea about taking yourself on an artist date where it was supposed to be like just you don't bring anybody, and do something that inspires your artistry, which I loved. I just loved that concept. And I'm like, I need to get back on that. Like, I feel like that was such a like creative moment with yourself. And even if you're not creative, just like having this like time to yourself and treating yourself like you would, your significant other. Like, I deserve to get myself some flowers and candy.
Yes, I love that you brought that up because I forgot about that.
Yeah, I feel like people don't talk about that part. And I'm all, that was one of the best parts of like the book that I got from it anyway, was that like date to take yourself on.
Yeah. Huh, that's interesting. I'm gonna have to remember that too.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you have a particular kind of book that you use for your journals? Are they all the same kind, or do you have a multitude of sizes and
I'm I'm pretty boring. I've used like the same exact journal for like since I started journaling, like back in bullet journaling. Oh gosh, I do not know how to pronounce it. You'd think after all these years I would know. It is, let's see. Look lish. Gosh, it's not English. I know that.
Uh-huh.
Look
Huh.
look strong. It's great. It's like really great quality. The only thing is that I usually end up pasting like 2 pages together because there's like, I think there's like 300 pages in here, and
Mm,
it just kind of helps like keep the pages together. And like, I mean, I'm halfway through the year and we're not even, I didn't even hit like the halfway mark yet of
right.
the book.
How do you not
So
bust that seam out?
I know. I don't know. I look at my past ones and I'm like, how are they still holding up? But they are.
That's
And they're
Can you
all,
fabulous.
hold
yeah,
up one
like,
of your pages? Can you hold up
oh,
one of your pages?
sure.
Can we see?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. This was an event that, so we had, in Long Beach, we had beach streets. So it had, I do write a little bit in there sometimes. But so I picked up, some stickers from some of the vendors there. It was like a creative arts vending, street fair. It was awesome. So like this card somebody had made. We got the stickers, some lavender that I picked up. This was actually my friend who was telling me about zines. This is her sticker, which is awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, and then I did one when I went to Anime Expo.
Wow.
We did. So this one's more fun because I got like a ton of stickers and all these like fun, anime manga things, which that's like my other guilty pleasure when I'm not journaling. I'm usually like reading manga or watching anime. It's a problem. But so
I don't know anything about anime. So, all right, question about that. Do you attend like cons and stuff, and do you cosplay? Do you like dress up, do the whole thing?
Oh, I wish I could. I'll do cheeky little like, okay, like I have like the straw. So like One Piece, like, he has his like straw hat is like his thing. So I'll wear my straw hat, or like I'll do like, like my from Pokemon, like Ash, I have like his hat too, or like his vest. So like I'll do like a low key little like nod to it, but I just like I can never dedicate myself to the full thing. And they say, like authentic cosplaying, you have to make your cosplay yourself. And I'm like, I don't know how to use a sewing machine. So, I will look at everybody else's beautiful creations. I definitely take pictures with the cosplayers because they look so amazing. They always look so cool, and like you can so see all of the like detailed work that they put into
They put
everything.
so much work into it.
It's amazing. Oh, I love it. But yeah, I can't do it.
I have been to a Comic-Con, and I can tell you that most of the costumes look like they would be freaking hot to walk around in all day.
Yeah,
oh my gosh,
I'm just
totally.
like,
And you wear the
no,
wigs.
thank you to that.
Yeah. Yeah. Or like I'll see people in like the huge platform heels. I'm like, I can't even walk around, period, let alone, for 12 hours.
Right. Yeah, that's insane.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah.
So are your journal pages like just a day or an event, or is it the whole week put together, or does it just vary depending on what you did?
It totally depends. Like when I know like so the Beach Streets one for Long Beach, the like crafts fair, it did have stuff from throughout the week too. It was just that like most of the stuff was from what I got at Beach Streets. And then sometimes too, it's like it won't necessarily, like not everything will be able to, like I won't be able to collect enough to make like one page. So sometimes it'll be like 2 weeks worth, or it'll be like Anime Expo. I knew I was gonna get a ton of stuff, so I had one for Anime Expo, and then I had that week different things that I had also collected. So it's totally just like whatever I'm feeling, which is I feel like the great part about like the living journal is like it's not like, oh, I have to write for this date, this is how I'm feeling. It's like just collect what you want when you want and stick it on there whenever.
Yeah, I don't think we really talked about what living journals are.
Well, you know what? It was actually kind of like a phrase that somebody on TikTok said. She was like, "Oh, because I didn't have a name for what I did, like this, random collecting of things. Like, and I'd been doing it for like 3 years at this point, and I was just like, here's this journal thing I do." And then somebody on TikTok was like, "Oh, I call this like my living scrapbook," and I was like, "Oh, that's like." And I was like, I really like that, but can I like steal that and like rework it as journals? Cause I'm already like journaling. And they were like, yeah, cool. And so I was like, awesome. And that was, I want to say maybe like a year ago. And then maybe a little more. But yeah, so since then I'm like, yeah, this is the living journal. And I haven't seen like a lot of other people talking about it either. I mean, not that, because one person's doing it, everyone's all of a sudden, I'm going to see the living journal everywhere.
Yeah,
but
that's what we keep thinking about Siren Soapbox. Take over the world.
right. It'll be everywhere. Oh yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I haven't really seen other people, except like people will sometimes like tag me and be like, hey, this is my living journal. And I'm like, yes, the living journal.
It's catching
lives on. Yes.
So how long have you had your TikTok channel?
My TikTok, I made it, I want to say like around quarantine, which
Yeah.
I feel like that's, when TikTok really like blew up was like that era, like 20, yeah, it was, I like made it in 2020, like, right around the situation. And I made it around there, but I didn't really post anything. I was just kind of like browsing. I made my regular, like just a regular TikTok and was just kind of looking around. And then I started seeing people posting about their journaling. And I was like, wait, I do that. I didn't know people like cared about this stuff. Like I thought this was just like the weird hobby my friends made fun of. But and I was like, whoa, these like people are loving that. Like, what is this? And so then yeah, it was, I want to say towards the end of 2020 when I like created the journal account. And then I want to say like my first video that I posted was like January 2021. Like it was like new year, like here's the start of my journal this year. And it got like 20 views and
Yeah,
2
killing
likes,
it.
I was like, let's go.
How many followers do you have now?
Now I've got like just over 50,000, which
That's
I
exciting.
can't even believe. I can't even believe like anybody cared about journaling. I was like, this is so cool.
That is cool.
Have you ever gone back and looked at some of your really early journals and how they've changed over time? Because I know, like,
Oh
my
yeah.
journal is from the first page to my last page is totally different.
Oh yeah. Oh, totally. Sometimes, yeah, it'll be like in one journal, you can see the difference like throughout
Yeah.
however long it was. Or like, yeah, like I've seen like when I first did my like first bullet journal of college, I was like, oh, like she's so cute. Like she was doing so much. She thought she did. And it's like one strip of washi tape and like Monday.
That's mine now, girl.
Oh my gosh, washi tape.
I know.
could
I
buy
have
all-
so much washi tape.
All of it.
So
I
much.
want all of it.
have you guys gotten like the dispensers? So I have like the
What?
washi tape dispensers now.
No.
So you can like, oh, it is awesome. I love them. I have like 20 of them. Too many.
I have one roll of that tape and no dispenser. And and Sarah is the one who sent me the tape, and it's orange.
Oh, cute. Oh, I love it. I love washi tape. I'm like, I will buy washi tape. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Really?
Oh,
We're watercoloring. Remember?
Oh, that's right. We had to have washi tape
Yeah.
for
Oh, yeah.
watercoloring.
That's
Oh,
why
those
I
are
have it.
pretty.
I even used it on my
love
journal
it.
page.
Yeah, you did.
Yes, I love that. Oh my gosh.
I'm cool and I didn't even know it.
Yeah, really
I
though,
knew
really
it,
though. And
Sarah.
that is some snazzy washi tape. I really like that.
I used
Oh,
up all the
and
one that Annie got us. Mer, you remember the one Annie got us with the little mermaid tail on top?
Yes.
But
So
you couldn't like
cute.
reload it. I was like, can you unscrew it and reload it? Because I totally would have kept it.
Oh.
yeah, it was like a wooden spool that had like 4 rolls of washi tape, and each roll had some sort of mermaid theme. So one of them I think was just like scales and like a blue and purple and pink ombre kind of thing, and one of them may have actually been like an aqua blue with like silver mermaids all over it.
Holographic
Pretty.
mermaids too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
And then at the top of the wooden spool was a little wooden mermaid tail, and my mermaid tail kept falling off. I still have it.
Oh, no, that is so cute.
It was
I
really cute.
love that.
But I don't know why you couldn't. It would have been awesome if you could unscrew it and then reload it, because I totally would have kept like reloading it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That seems like they need to fix their like model over there. That's yeah, I would agree with that.
Because they want us to be throwaway consumers. That's another episode.
You're so right. You're so
Probably
right.
a siren song episode.
One of the types of journaling you mentioned was junk journaling. What exactly is that?
So junk journaling, I feel like it's similar to like the living journal, but I see junk journaling with more like themes. So like you would do like kind of a vintage spread, and then you'd pick like have like kind of ribbons and junk journaling, I would say, is like also similar to it's kind of, they're all very like have a lot of like similarities between them. Junk journaling, I would consider like something like this junk journaling. So this has these are paint sample like that
So
you
is
just pick
this
up
just
from like Lowe's.
is this in like another notebook that you use?
So this is a different, yeah, this is like my, this is my creative journaling type of journal that I
Gotcha.
use. The look term, these are for like my living journals. And then this one is for like those individual spreads. And then sometimes I'll do like a little journal entry on the side just to like, if I have any words I need to get out. But yeah, this one is like, it got this like handmade paper. So it's like really, really gorgeous. But yeah, junk journaling, I would say, is more like it's like kind of that like midway point between it all, because yeah, like I collect like these paint chips from Lowe's or like Home Depot. So these I kind of used back here. And then, just some like dried flowers and again, washi tape. It's kind of like that mix between creative journaling and junk journaling, where like creative journaling, I feel like isn't as doesn't have as much texture. And you know what, maybe that's just me. I'm sure if you ask like another journaler, they might say like that creative or that like junk journaling is the exact same as a living journal. I feel like there is like some flexibility in what types of journals
Crossover.
you can consider. Yeah,
It
yeah.
feels like the
Exactly.
living journal is more like a logging of your time and the
Yeah.
events that you've experienced, whereas junk journaling is more like taking some things that like your paint samples, or even I think I read somewhere that they take some people even use their junk mail or whatever and just take
Yes, yeah.
those things that would normally be like throwaway items to make a piece of art inside of a journal.
Right. Right. Whereas like, yeah, I feel like junk journaling, you're like creating like a themed thread. Whereas like living journal is more of just a documentation of what you're doing. I feel like, yeah, I feel like that actually kind of nails that. As I'm
You're
thinking
recycling.
about it now, I'm like, oh, yeah, right.
So I did some researching on journaling in general today, and I have some vocabulary terms for you guys.
I was like, where's our
Ooh.
trivia, Mer?
But first, let me ask you, do you guys know what the most popular journal and possibly the most read book of all time is? I'm guessing we've all read it. Maybe not Sarah, because I don't know if you went to grade school or high school in the United States.
What is
I
it?
have no idea.
It is The Diary of Anne Frank.
Oh,
Oh, mhm. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So lots and lots of famous people kept journals. We actually, Mark and I went through the Andy Warhol Museum over the weekend. Highly recommend. If you are in the
Awesome.
Pittsburgh area, you should check it out. But then we watched like the first episode of the documentary about Andy Warhol, and he actually hired a person that he would call every day and like talk to her about his day before. And it was her job to sort of write down everything he said. And that was how he journaled.
Wow.
Wow.
So when we were in New Orleans, we went to the Museum of Death, and the Museum of Death was all like serial killer stuff. And almost every serial killer in there journaled, and they had like pages from their journals. And I remember this because it's in my journal, which I was looking at in preparation for today. There's the serial killer.
I saw
Oh,
that.
I love that.
I saw
Oh my
that when
gosh.
you sent the picture, it said probably wouldn't do again.
No, I would definitely not do that again. Bad vibe. Not again.
See, Sarah,
That's
it's a good thing
interesting
we
though.
don't journal, because now we're not serial killers.
exactly.
I know. I was like, I need to start worrying about something if that's the case.
Well, I think lots of other people journal too. I just found it interesting. Plus, a lot of them had a lot of time in a jail cell and
True.
not much else to
True.
do. So
True that. Also, they really wanted people to know their story or their
it's
version
true.
of their story.
Yes,
That's
they
very
wanted to be like
true.
infamous. Yeah,
Mhm.
that is
That's a
so
really
true.
good point, Mer.
Mhm.
But did they
Yeah.
start journaling once they got caught and were put in jail, or were they journaling as they went along,
it's
describing
a
was,
how
mixture.
and why they wanted to kill people?
I
yeah,
bet
it
there's
was
a
a
mixture.
mixture. There was a
Mhm.
mixture. Yeah.
Yeah, I listen to a
Anyway.
lot of true crime podcasts. So that's why I picked up on that. It's not that I'm super insightful, TC. It's just that's what serial killers are.
I think I would read
That is
Dexter's
so true.
journals.
Oh, I would read Dexter's journals. That would be
I'd be
interesting.
Oh, yeah.
interested. Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a term and you're going to tell me what it is. Because I don't have a better way to do this. All right, fussy cut. Fussy. F is in Frank.
Is that maybe tearing instead of using scissors?
No.
I'd say the
Oh.
opposite, using scissors and getting a perfectly straight cut.
Well, that's not it either, but you're right. You were
Oh.
closer. Yeah. Yeah. So fussy means that you cut around an image. So like, let's say you take like a postcard or something, there's a really pretty bird that you want to cut out. The fussy cut would be cutting out the bird entirely and not leaving any border around.
Oh, I do a lot of fussy cutting then. Now I know. Now I know it.
And then the opposite of that, anybody want to guess what the opposite of that is when you cut something out, but you leave like some of the border around it?
Lazy cutting? Because
It
That's
does
what
seem
I
like the
do.
opposite.
Grunge cut.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, grunge cut.
That's what it's called from
Hmm.
now on. It is called a kiss cut.
Oh, love that. It
For
makes
obvious
it sound
reasons.
more appealing.
Yes. All right. Here's another one. Belly band.
Is this still
Belly band?
referencing journaling? Because I
That's right.
answers.
Yes, it is, girl.
Okay, checking.
I've heard that in reference to like veterinary stuff.
Oh, yeah,
Like you
no.
put on a belly band after a cat gets spayed so she doesn't lick her stitches.
This is a little
Oh my
different.
gosh.
A belly band is a piece of material that you attach to your journal. They say you can either like, glue it on or you can stitch it or staple it, whatever, but you attach it at two ends. So either the top and the bottom or the left and the right. And then you can use it to just sort of tuck things behind in your journal.
Oh, that's great. That's so cute.
Oh yeah, some of them were really cool. Some of them were made out of like some of the pictures I saw had like really ornate fabrics that they used to make their belly bands, or maybe just like a piece of cardboard, whatever.
That's
Get
cute.
pretty fancy with it.
Yeah.
Okay, inchy.
A little worm that you close up in your journal.
Smush 'em.
Smush 'em.
Maybe it's when you journal and you have everything really close together and not a lot of extra space.
That
Or when you're trying to write a
Oh.
sign and you run out of room at the end of it, so your words get really, really
inchy.
Or
That's pinchy. No, the inchy is a 1 by 1 square embellishment, 1 inch by 1 inch, that can be decorated however you wish. It's basically like a little 1 inch square canvas.
Oh my gosh, fun. So you do like a little decoration on just one by
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So when
That's
we were doing
challenging.
artist trading cards, they had some challenges that were the inchy challenges. So people were creating like really cool works of art on these little 1 by 1 inch by 1 inch
That
watercolor
is
papers or whatever.
awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think my
Wow.
hand is steady enough to do that.
Does anybody want to guess what the 2 inch by 2 inch canvas is called?
Josie.
Dosey. No, it's the Twinchy.
Oh,
Aw, that's
naturally.
Okay. Let's do one or two more. What is a lap book journal?
A lap book.
It's a big journal. It's a big full size.
That was my
journal.
guess. That's my guess. Yeah, like a big one you can slap on your
Those-
lap.
Do you remember those traditional journals? Like when I was a kid, it was like this big journal.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember stuff like
Mm.
that. So, yeah, that's what it is. It's a journal that folds out multiple times and it contains lots of little flips and
Oh.
flaps inside for like pockets and little
Oh,
places for
Mm.
writing and stuff. So it unfolds quite a bit.
Cool.
that's
Becomes
cool.
bigger. Yeah. Last
Just like a TARDIS.
like a TARDIS. Yes, it's exactly like a TARDIS.
Yes.
How about tucks or tuck spots?
They sound like some more belly
Oh.
bands.
You are,
Pockets.
yeah, you are right, Sarah and Jess. So they are like pockets, but they are usually attached on two sides. So you can slide larger things inside of it. A pocket usually only has one opening. So there you go. Now you guys have way more journaling knowledge than when we started this episode.
I feel like
love
I
it.
do too.
Good. I'm glad I'm here to help. I'm here to help, Ariel.
Uh,
We have one final question for you, a question that we ask all of our guests. What is your favorite way to explore?
Ooh, I am, so I'm a big like road tripper. I love doing like so I'm from the Bay Area and right now I live in like LA area, I live in Long Beach. So I'm huge on like doing road trips. So if we're going to go visit family, my roommate and I will like look up things like that we can do from here to there that we haven't done before. So like even if it's something as simple as like there was one time we looked up like a specific McDonald's that's like blue. It has blue arches. It's like the only one in America or
Wow.
something. So and we didn't end up going, but because we weren't
But we
going that
looked it up.
direction, but we looked it up. So we'll like do things like that, or like even just like, oh, like somebody had told us about like a soft serve place, that was like 3 hours from here. So we're like, well, we'll just go there on our way to go see family next time. Or even just like looking up places around us. Like we've gone to, I don't know if you guys have heard of the Madonna Inn. It's like this hotel where each room is themed. So like one room is like the Paris room, and then you have like the Spain room, or you have like the fairy tale room, the windmill room. It's really cool, just like all these different themed rooms.
That's awesome.
And so we were like, well, let's like just go check that out, like, on our way to go see families. So yeah, we're always like in the car ready to go, like check out random destinations.
I love
yeah.
that. That's how we travel a lot. It's very spontaneous. No sheet music, as TC and D
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
So we want to leave our listeners with a challenge this week. How about you try living journaling for a week or two and let us know how it goes? You can send us a message if you have any questions. You can reach out to us, or you can reach out to Ariel. Ariel, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I feel totally inspired. Do you want to tell all of our listeners where they can find you?
Absolutely. Well, thank you all for having me. I so appreciate it. I had so much fun. I feel like I learned more about journaling, and I should have known things. But yeah.
No,
So
there's
I
no such thing as
appreciate
should.
And now I do know things, which is perfect. But yeah, you can find me. TikTok is usually where I'm at. So TikTok/Ariel Journals. Same on YouTube. I'm trying to get more into like the YouTube game there. And my Patreon as well is just Aerial Journals. Those are my places.
All right. And we'll put links in our show description as well. Thank you, Sirens, for spending your time with us tonight. I loved all of your journals so much. I'm so glad that you shared them with me. It made me so happy to see all of them. Thank you, fellow explorers, for listening to this episode. Please share this episode with someone you think will enjoy it. We're trying to increase the number of explorers we reach each week, and sharing this episode with one person will help us achieve that goal. Check out our website, sirensoapbox.com/support, for other ways you can support the show. And until next time, dive in, stay curious, and be happy. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Siren Soapbox, and a special thank you to C Strings for providing our music. Snag their latest EP from iTunes today. Follow the Sirens on all the social medias, and don't forget to tell your friends about us. Like and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. We'll catch you next time on another episode of Siren Soapbox.